2, 3, funky.
Saw this on TikTok and had to try it on my mom's car. A tad of baking soda and 1 orange on headlights. Well, look at the difference, it actually worked.
Okay.
How rare is your body? Let's find out. Only 5% of people have a double hair whorl. The majority of people only have 1 hair whorl, and it actually usually goes in the clockwise direction, but having 2 hair whorls is pretty rare. Less than 0.5% of people have a 3rd nipple. You can see it right here. They can come in a variety of different sizes, but they're usually a little bit smaller and a lot of times look like a mole and are hard to notice. About 4% of people are colorblind. Men are a lot more likely to be colorblind, coming in at 8% of men being colorblind and only about 0.5% of females being colorblind. Less than 1% of people have super stretchy skin. Having super stretchy skin is also known as hyperelasticity, and things like collagen and elastin are what control how stretchy the skin actually is, so people who are able to do this usually have different variations of those. Less than 50% of people can wiggle their toes individually. The big toe and the little toe have individual muscles, so those are easier to move individually, but your middle toes are all controlled by one set of muscles, so those are a lot more difficult to move individually. Less than 0.01% of people have an unusual pupil shape. This can range from things like the pupil looking like it's dripping to different shapes and different ways the pupil is actually structured. About 1% of people need less sleep than the rest of us. The people that are able to do this have something called sleeper syndrome, which allows them to go through a sleep cycle faster than the average person. Less than 1% of people have unbreakable bones. This is caused by a mutation in one of the genes that causes the bones to be up to 8 times denser and nearly impossible to break.
This technique is called mewing, and it's supposed to give you more stronger to find jawline. And literally every celebrity does it.
The correct one is sucking, like this, suck, like this. So, do like this. Click it. When you click it, that sucking is what you're supposed to do all the time when your face is resting.
3 little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry.
24% of people can raise 1 eyebrow, however, you can also learn to do this as well. 14% of people do not have this muscle you see called the palmaris longus. This was developed when our ancestors were big tree climbers, and if you want to see if you still have it, pull back your palm on a flat surface, touch your pinky and thumb together and slightly lift them, and you should see that ligament pop out. Only 35% of people can gleek, and only 1% of people can do it on command, and this is where you're spitting saliva from under your tongue and it kind of squirts out. Only 35% of people have 20/20 vision, and this means that 2 out of 3 people cannot see perfectly. Less than 1% of people have their heart on the right side of their body, and surprisingly, this doesn't normally come with any negative consequences. About 5% of people have ears that stick out pretty far, and some people even go as far as getting surgery to have them pinned back so they don't stick out. 8% of people still have chimp-like feet. About 1 in 13 people have feet that are specifically adapted for climbing trees, and this is characterized by a mid-foot arch. If you want to check if you have this, see if you can bend the ball of your foot as well as the region halfway between your heel and the ball of your foot. All of us have a joint here, however, there's normally a ligament that keeps us rigid, however, some people are able to flex it. Less than 1% of people are born with a white patch of hair. This is also called poliosis, and it's due to a lack of pigment called melanin in the hair follicles. And this can go from their hair, this can be their eyebrow, and there's different spots this can appear. About 2% of people have something called vitiligo, which is a disease that causes loss of skin color and blotches. This happens when pigment producing cells die or stop functioning.